Let me double check. Hey, it's Russ Payton with Ludonarrative Dissidents here on our monthly live stream. We are here greeted by a special guest here, Adam Scott Glancy of Pagan Publishing and Delta Green. But before we get into that, and we'll mention this later again in the podcast or the episode.
Let's wait till some people join.
Yeah. Let's just some people join in. Yeah, we just started. Normally they have a 10-minute lead down. I realized the live stream is like, oh yeah, we should probably do that. But that's more effort. But let's see here. Yeah. Because we invited Scott. I've been a friend for years. He's been on RPPR many times, and I assume Greg and James also know. Yeah.
I think you and I met Ross in one of his Delta Green historical games.
Oh, was that U-Boat Heraus?
No. He was the guy who dropped the following phrases during Dig to Victory. When I described the architecture, Greg said, "So basically, it's early boogeyman." Period. That's the kind of architecture.
I remember that one.
And the other line he dropped when he was playing a British officer talking about the Belgians was, "Look, everything south of Dover is a wop." No, a wog. Sorry, everyone south of Dover is a wog. Is what you said. So there you go, Greg Stolze. Only a racist when he's being English.
Oh my god!
True, sadly, of so many English people as well.
I think the part I remember, what I remember from U-Boats Heraus is Ross making this amazing hot streak of dice rolls to resist the mind control from the wizard, and then just commit the most
he
most justifiable deck gun strafing of civilians you could imagine.
He did in fact do what the Germans are routinely accused of doing in U-boats, and that is gunning down everyone in the lifeboats. In his defense, they're all Deep One hybrids. They're all armed to the teeth, and they were trying to cast a spell on him, so he'd turn the gun on his shipmates.
That was the inspiration for the damage rules I came up with for Delta.
The lethality, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
With lethality, I'm like, there's gotta be a better way than
there's gotta be a better way. It's like a late night TV
there's gotta be a better way to spray down 18 people in a rowboat with 20 rounds a combat round. Yeah. Agreed. Gotta be a better way.
That was the one where I'm like, the other fond memories I have of that are, Deep Ones are going to start making sand rolls when they see Ross's character. Then at the beginning, my guy is like, the captain, how I admire him. I'd follow that man to the gates of hell itself. And then later on, as we're fleeing the abysmal temporal, they're like, but the captain, I'm like, he's already dead. I can still hear him screaming. He's already dead. I am assuming command. I thought you said you'd follow him to the gates of hell. I have reconsidered my hasty earlier opinions.
I mean, in your defense, you followed him to the gates of hell.
I didn't realize they were so literal.
You thought about your muti. I mean, that was. You started sounding off like those Germans in the original Wolfenstein. Muti.
Yeah.
Mein Leben.
Memories. So we do have some people on our Twitch right now. It's showing 18 on Twitch alone, not counting YouTube. So that's good. So why don't we first talk about Greg? You've got a thing. Let's talk about that thing. Yeah.
Yes, I have a novella on Kickstarter. It's about 15,000 words long. It's high fantasy in a series of stories in which it starts out with this cosmopolitan fantasy city that is completely destroyed in a day. And it is mostly about how the citizens respond, and you see, oh, here's what happens with the wizards who thought they were cool enough to stop the disaster and weren't, but managed to save their own skins. And here's the tiny remnant of the alchemy guild that survived because they had a giant ship that they used for their most dangerous experiments, which means that the senior alchemists are all the people that the other senior alchemists wanted as far away from them as possible. And so there's been a series of these novellas going from character to character, showing, the high culture, the low culture, how people are surviving on a giant refugee fleet. And against the Silver Slavers is all these characters coming together as a really terrible nation becomes aware that, oh, so that rich city that was supplying weapons to the people who resist us when we come and say, you are now slaves of the glorious empire, those guys are gone, except they're all on ships where one of our major slaving fleets is operating. What should we do? I don't know. What do we always do? Go take some slaves. Let's get on it. And so you will see assorted characters resisting that. And so, yeah, it's $5 to just get the novella. And for another $5, you can get all the previous novellas, if I've got that right. So, yeah. Yeah, that's my deal. No AI used in making this.
Yay. It's terrible we have to say that, but yay. Yeah.
Yay, indeed.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we'll mention it again.
Oh, it's $10 for the 4 previous novellas.
Yeah. Okay.
Still a tremendous savings.
Yeah.
How could I afford to let this fiction go for this cheap? Volume. Yep. And with that joke,
because he's Madman Stolze and he'll sell anything for nothing. Yeah.
Fuck you, Baltimore. We have a new novella for you. Yeah. So
speaking of going insane, we have Adam Scott Glancy with us.
Yes.
Yes.
And man, it's been an age.
It has. Apparently it turned my beard white and your hair white in the meantime.
So for those who aren't following our Discord, if you're listening to this, because we'll put this up on the podcast feed too, not just those you lucky enough to jump on this live, some people started talking about our episode on Delta Green Countdown, and it came up that we should ask Scott Glancy. Oh no, Tynes answered some questions about questions that were raised during our episode about Delta Green Countdown, and then you messaged me, said, "Can I contribute?" And then you came forward. So we got some questions.
Fools to say no.
Yeah, we've been fools to say no, but first, before we begin with the questions that have been asked on the Discord, we should probably ask about the big question, the historical accuracy therein of Pisces. Yeah.
Well, let me start by saying that as soon as James started slagging me for being a lazy researcher,
it's been a long time coming, man.
Yeah. And went upstairs and I got my copy of Cold Print. It's actually a fairly old printing. I think it's from the 80s. I picked up at a used bookstore. And sure enough, 2 or 3 pages into The Insects from Shagai by Ramsey Campbell is the mention of Matthew Hopkins.
Okay.
He does appear in the story. Now, I note that the story was written in let's see, what did my notes say? Because so Campbell's born January 4th, 1946. And Insects of Shagai is published in The Inhabitant of the Lake and Less Welcome Tenants in 1964. So that means that when he wrote the story, he was 17 years old. And when it was published, he was maybe 18, unless his birthday is before January. I'm sorry, unless it was published before January 4th. So he's the one who told me that Matthew Hopkins was there.
Okay.
In that
Okay.
part. Now,
so you're consistent with the fiction, not the history.
Yeah. Now I will say that for this, who among us has not been led astray by a 17-year-old English boy? But
there's a line of the episode.
Someone with more enthusiasm than knowledge, shall we say?
Yeah. God, I mean, we have all these prodigies in the UK creating all this RPG adjacent literature between Maelstrom and Campbell. So
clearly, and then we go off the boil by the time we hit 20.
Yeah. So that's one thing. Now, the fact that I got the date now there's no dates in from Shikai. It only says the closest thing it says is 1600s. And my mistake was, I have a couple of good mistakes. One was I do not know where I got the date from to set the ship's landing. I didn't get it. I did not find it looking through Chaosium game material. All right, because I went through some of their books and see if maybe they had dropped this number in. It doesn't appear in the books. There is a Insects from Shagai scenario that takes place during the Inquisition in Spain in the first Strange Aeons book. It's got a date, but that's for Spain, and it's a different vessel. It's not the same ship from Goatswood. I can only figure that in the age before the internet, I went and pulled a book off a shelf about the occult out of my library and pulled a date out of that and didn't question it, and just went with that. And those books are notoriously poorly written. I think, and poorly researched. I think that's one of the reasons Ken Hite loves them so much, is that they're so bad at their job.
Gives him a lot of work, I guess. Yeah.
The best because the date is close to his lifetime. It's not like I picked the 1820s or the 1620s or 1630s or 1670s. I'm close. I was off by 5 years, so I figure it must have been a mistake from a source material that I pulled out, and I just didn't check a second source.
Because the other thing that occurred to me is it could have been a typo. God knows I've made enough in dates.
That was deliberate. We deliberately fucked it up.
We deliberately fucked it up.
The thing is, though, we're redoing Pisces material, and I'll have to change the date. But my question is, do I change the date to the beginning or the end of his career? Because I kind of like the idea that the reason he goes on a murder spree across the UK is because he's a Shan host.
That could, he dies of, that could work. The thing is, the whole thing happens, but he's really young. He's in his 20s, and he's dies at 27, I think. Trying to find the year of his birth.
As we've established, people in the UK are just like anime characters. They peak very early, and there's just all these precocious. 19,
if you haven't committed a gender side in the English countryside by 25, you're not going to do it by 30. It's
exactly.
You got to get in there and do all your top shelf murdering before before you hit your 30s.
Well, it's the rain. You can't
not speak to me of rain. Not this year.
You can't be tromping around in the rain when your joints are all aging and tightening up and finding women to burn. That's a young.
First of all, it's going to take a lot more to make them burn because of the rain. I'm surprised he got any of them to ignite.
Well, that's the thing. They don't burn witches. They hang witches. They burn heretics.
Oh, that's a very good point. Well, see, the thing is, I thought that was just America. I thought is it Scotland where they burn their witches? Or do they also hang?
Oh, probably. The Scottish stuff, I'm not my area, literally.
They might
but no, in England it was definitely hanging.
Okay.
And now we know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so what were the other questions?
Well, we got one question in the chat. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Greg.
I was going to say that when you are writing historical flavored verisimilitude for game stuff, sometimes you just get it wrong. Sometimes you replicate an original fiction source that got it wrong, and sometimes you change it on purpose to fit the needs of the narrative. So it's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah, I can't guarantee that what was his name? The Mad Baron of Mongolia was at a particular rail crossing at a particular day for the characters to run into him during the Russian Civil War. But it's gonna happen.
My tongue.
I know it's like white. It's something Berg, I think.
James Palmer wrote a book about him.
Yeah, he was mentioned in the Laundry novels too.
Yes, the Bloody White Baron.
That guy.
Ergen von Sternberg.
Yeah, Sternberg.
Yeah.
Ergen. Just absolute batshit last Khan of Mongolia. And his own troops tried to kill him. That's how you know you're a first-class leader, is when you after you've been beaten up by the Bolsheviks with your rinky-dink army of cutthroats and murderers, and they weren't able to stand their ground against the 1920-something Red Army. Not exactly the 1945 Red Army. It's not like this is the group of guys who are going to flatten Berlin, right? They're just again poorly armed, poorly equipped, and they still got absolutely trounced by the Red Army. He tells his men, no, we're not going back to Mongolia. We're pressing on to Moscow to free Mother Russia from this Jew Bolshevism. And we're going to hang the swastika of Buddhism from the top of the Kremlin. And his men go, cool, sir. Well, you have a good night. And then they went and set up a Maxim gun and emptied a belt of machine gun bullets, much like Ross did in that one scenario. Into the man's tent while he was sleeping.
He was casting spells. They had to stop that. Like, it's just
except unlike Ross, they missed. They dumped an entire belt into his tent and missed, and he jumped out with a sword in one hand and a pistol in another and fought his way to a horse and rode off.
Damn. We did get a question in chat that I want to answer quick because I think it'll be a fun one, and which is from Garen, who asks, "What is your favorite poorly written book on the occult?" And my answer is, it took me about 10 seconds to think of this, which is the 1977 Necronomicon.
That is terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible.
That is absolutely terrible.
It is.
What's so bad about it?
It mixes satanic stuff with it's one of the first books to really grab stuff from the Cthulhu mythos and put it in. It mixes the Cthulhu mythos with Aleister Crowley's writing.
Oh, it's cribbed from it's cribbed from Crowley stuff, which is cribbed from D.
Wait. And occultists biting on each other's style like inept rappers.
Yeah,
I cannot cotton to such a thing.
Yeah. So it's just like one of the things, like a lot of heavy metal groups reference this, and like that's where Cthulhu started becoming popular and stuff like that.
It had the reputation as the most shoplifted book in America.
Wow.
Yeah, there is a trade paperback edition that's probably still floating around.
Yep.
Yeah. So does anybody have
I will say Spear of Destiny by Trevor Ravenscroft.
With a name like that, it's gotta be good.
It's all about Hitler's occult attempts to obtain the spear that pierced Christ's side so that that his armies would be unstoppable.
Oh, okay.
It's Wikipedia levels of renowned.
Ravencroft sued James Herbert for copyright infringement from his novel The Spear. Okay, yeah, good sign.
I do love it when people repeat a lot of their stuff in fiction, and then the people who it's supposedly based on. And of course, this happened with the Da Vinci Code as well.
That's my favorite, where Lincoln and what was the other guy's name from Holy Blood, Holy Grail?
Holy Blood, Holy Grail guys. Yeah, the two of them.
Yeah.
Yes, going, you base this on, and their defense. Dan Brown's defense was no, I didn't, despite the fact that the two authors appear in his book with anagrammed
Well, here's
names.
the thing. They wrote a conspiracy book that was supposed to be history. You can't copyright history. It's like, look, you wrote a history book and I read about the history and then I fictionalized the history. I'm allowed to do that. That's it's like, what's his name? The fall and rise of the rise and fall of the Third Reich, suing because, suing the makers of Downfall or, Hitler the Last Day, they're suing Anthony
or Wolfenstein.
You can't do that. You
wrote it. Going to go with Chariots of the Gods.
I was tempted. It's not really a cult, though. It's it's science fiction. I was going to say the Da Vinci Code. In fact,
Da Vinci Code. Okay,
yeah. It's just Christ.
Aliens is a cult. Anything that decides that ancient people can't build stuff because they're not
because they're not white.
Another whiter, if perhaps only gray race has to show up and show them how to do it. Yeah.
So I hate the Da Vinci Code because it coined the term symbologist, which the study of symbols is semiotics, I hate it when people mention, the symbiology of this is fuck you, it's semiotics, it's the symbolism or symbolism.
Well, now they're giving themselves away, Ross. It's like it's like what people used to say about flying a Confederate flag. It's like, okay, thank you for the warning. You're like those Amazon rainforest poison frogs. I'm like, I now know do not have nothing to do with you.
Yeah, nature's language, do not touch. Okay, so we have Da Vinci Code, we have Spear of Destiny, we have the Necronomicon. I guess you, Scott, do you have
I've got a bunch of. I've actually got a fair number of really good books about the occult.
I only read the good ones. I don't know about the bad ones.
I've read some bad stuff. I guess there's some Roswell stuff that I remember that's quite terrible. And it's like there's I guess it was it Howard Bloom's book Out There. That's where I was introduced to the whole hoax about the Majestic documents. But I guess the worst thing I've ever, and I can't say I've read the whole thing, is Behold a Pale Horse by I guess it William Cooper. William Cooper is this batshit UFOologist. Who famously was in the Navy and may or may not have, as a enlisted man, been involved with naval intelligence and prepared reports for briefings, to be presented for admirals or whatever. That may have actually happened in his career. He claims he saw all the secret, UFO materials while he was in the Navy. And his job in the UFO circles was to come out and basically say, whenever somebody would announce some new thing about UFOlogy, he would immediately come out and say, yeah, I knew about that. I saw it when I was in the Navy. Well, why didn't you not mention it until now? And then he would elaborate on it. Yeah. Milton William Cooper.
Look at that cover art, though.
Isn't it incredible? It's some real outsider art on that cover.
Yeah.
To tell you what kind of guy,
can you pan over?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, let me.
To tell you what kind of guy William Cooper was, I don't think I need to expand anything beyond.
That is great.
The idea that as he's categorizing his aliens, and everybody, loves to do that. Everyone wants to tell you how the reptoids and the grays and there's the
Nordics,
and then there's the tall grays, the short grays. Bill Cooper added a new category of grays, the big-nosed grays. Yes, this is where he found he decoded the protocols of the elders of Zion to show that it wasn't about rabbis. It was really about aliens. Now, the protocols of the elders of Zion is not an anti-Semitic screed created by the Tsar's secret police. No, it's really trying to warn us about alien infiltration. And so he was able to knit some bog standard anti-Semitism into UFOlogy, which it's easy to get anti-Semitism into most conspiracy theories because most of them.
Well, that's every single conspiracy theory I've ever seen. If you dig hard enough, it will always go back to anti-Semitism. It'll always go back to the protocols of the elders.
That's the Dana Kasi kind of premise. Is that if you dig deep enough, and it's not that deep. You will hit the anti-Semitism.
No,
did you ever read,
you had people blaming the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte on rabbis.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
So
I think we've answered the question.
But
well, let's move back on to the questions because we definitely.
I would like to point out he went out like the best conspiracy theorist ever, in a hail of bullets fired by the police. He was a crazy.
So he really did know too much.
Exactly. The fact that he was a belligerent, angry weirdo who didn't take care of himself and lost a leg to diabetes and would regularly threaten people that he met, his neighbors, with guns that he had on him all the time. The cops finally decided maybe we should finally do something about it, but nobody wanted to take him on because he was crazy and sick and old and dying. And so when the day they finally did, he shot at them and shot a cop in the head. Guy survived, but I understand he was, out of the job after that. And they gunned him down at his front lawn. So everything he said was true because he was murdered by, the agents of the state. So really quite the success story there from Bill Cooper, Yeah.
Wow.
I can only hope that's how Alex Jones goes out.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can think of so many conspiracy theories, and that theorists where I want that for them. I was also gonna say, the rest of us are like, oh, what's your favorite dirtbag, poorly written occult thing? And Clancy's like, well, I tend to only read good ones. The rest of you are over here like. To me, this is like hearing, what's your favorite vintage of wine that costs $4 or less a bottle?
I tend towards a sparkling muscatel when
so we have questions for the Discord. The first one is from our Discord member Soren, who says, I've always read Countdown to be very apocalyptic, big, ugly, unimaginable things. How can you run it after, say, Impossible Landscapes or the Cowboy Years, when the grind was what did you win? Roll a new cell. So I mean, the thing about Countdown is it's several campaigns in one, right? Like you only focus on one folk group at a time. I would guess.
Yes, it's really not meant to be something you would necessarily, well, this week it's the Scopsy, but next week it's Pisces. You commit to one storyline and you stay with it. One of the questions that came up was, why did they put 4 books in this book? I mean, there's maybe 4 or 5 books in here, and
there is so much.
Why are they all in here? And John was right when he said that we had to get our license from Chaosium was you have to pay $1,000 up front. In order to publish a book.
Of course, yes.
And so if we had 4 books, that's $4,000 out of our pocket instead of 1. But it was more than that. The other big issue was that we only had 3 titles a year from Chaosium. And there were people in the company that were worried that if we broke it up into multiple books, we would, quote unquote, become the Delta Green Company instead of the Pagan Publishing Company. We would not do our other projects that we had on the burner. And so folks were worried that their stuff would be, pushed to the bottom of the list because it maybe wasn't doing the numbers that Delta Green was. Now, we never got 3 books out in a year, ever. So this fear was horseshit. It was never it never materialized. We never ran up against the limits. We had it was 3 books, plus we could do the unspeakable oath as much as we wanted. So there was no way that this was ever going to be an issue for us. But we had people who were worried about it, and they did not want us to become the Delta Green Company. Blair Reynolds was miffed that we were selling stuffed Cthulhus for crayon. He thought that was, just despite the fact they would fly off the shelves at conventions.
They did, man. Those things moved.
We'd come home with our money's full of.
I think it was
our
you
money
and Times
full of
talking about this, where it was, yeah. That's why we can do conventions. The stuffy money pays for the conventions.
Yeah, exactly. But Blair was a purist and didn't want to hear that. He wanted to make horrible things that people were sorry they looked at and make their eyes feel. Speaking of which, I'm gonna let you guys in a little secret. A guy who used to work with a guy knew Blair as well. A guy named Greg Clark. And somebody I'd met at Gen Con a number of times. He let me know that he's got some art from Blair that he'd commissioned from Blair as illustrations for his short story Operation Looking Glass that appeared in Alien Intelligence, the first collection of Delta Green fiction. He'd been sitting on this stuff for years, and he wanted to make it available to us to see if we could maybe put it, see if we could do something with it. So it's art from very late in Blair's career. I'd never seen it before. It is, he goes off the leash on this one.
Wow.
It is incredible stuff. The technique is beautiful, looks fantastic. It's some of his best work. It's 3 panels, and we're going to try and find a way to get this art in front of the public in some sort of project through ArcDream. And I'm just glad that Greg had this stuff, because Blair had a tendency to destroy art after he was done with it.
Wow.
Yeah, things that people would have bought for hundreds of dollars or more at a convention. He would just be like, I'm just going to burn it now. And so some of the originals are gone. Most of the originals are gone. We have a few, like we have the cover of Walker in the Waste as a full painting. I used to have it in the house, but John Crow has it now. Gosh, I don't know what happened to the original for Delta Green or Countdown, but yeah, Greg Clark managed to preserve this art, so we are going to try and put it to work somewhere. Yeah, that's one of his most haunting, creepy things ever. The Wendigo being found aboard the wreck of the Terror, or perhaps the Cerebus, up there in.
Okay, so this stuff, you've seen Black Sands, right?
Yep.
So is it that kind of stuff?
Yes.
The kind of.
It's that direction.
Oh, it's horrific. It's also pornographic.
Yes, it's full on Giger. I mean, it's Giger-y.
Okay.
In that.
Wow.
It's horrible in the sense that HR would put penises coming out of boobies. In his art.
As one does.
Baby face.
As one does. Yeah. So it's in that department.
Cool.
He illustrates some things that happened. He illustrates some things that happened in the short story. And since it involves, Shubby, everyone's favorite Magna Mater, there are some mother-like appendages.
Hell yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I feel very confident that this is, you have to be a mature audience in like 2 different directions to dig this.
Yeah. I'll tell you the one theme that always seems to shows up in that short comic he did in The Unspeakable Oath, Remnant. He did like 8 pages.
Remnant.
It was this It was this thing where the guys go off to some archaeological site and open the wrong box, and then, the problem starts. One of the things that happens during the course of that story is that the guys who flee the archaeological site in their aircraft, their 1920s or 1930s aircraft, are pursued by the problem that proceeds to smash into the plane in midair and stick the partially dissolved, partially eaten, partially reanimated corpse of one of their cohorts through the fuselage to scream "Die, fuckers!" at them before boiling into the fucking aircraft as they're blazing away with their guns, shooting their own aircraft apart from the inside out as this thing is pursuing them. That thing turned up, and then it turned up again. That happens again in 2 other places. One of them was in the scenario that Blair ran that became the basis for Operation Obsidian, the attempt to put down the Black Buddha, or in our case, call up the Black Buddha. That was the disastrous Cambodian mission that wrecks Delta Green. Your aircraft get intercepted midair, and you're now having a fight with something in your aircraft that's eating the plane as it's tumbling out of the sky. And he brought that back again for Operation Looking Glass. There's something about something trying to eat you midair that bothered him, because it came back 3 times. As far as fears go, I would say that your aircraft having something non-aerodynamic pushing its way inside, screwing up the trim, screwing up the lift, and otherwise shredding your aluminum airframe. Maybe it was all based on that one snippet from the Heavy Metal movie. Do you remember that? The Heavy Metal movie?
I remember the movie. I don't remember the bit.
There's a bit where the Lochnar lands in a B-17 Flying Fortress and reanimates the corpses of the crew, who then start working their way forward.
Old Twilight Zone, the thing on the wing with William Shatner.
Yeah. So there's something about that just bugged the hell out of Blair. So it shows up a lot. So one of the paintings is definitely the thing making its entrance to the side of the aircraft.
Cool.
Paratroopers.
Got another question.
All right.
So after Countdown in 1999, it took 8 years. This is from Martin R. on our Discord. It took 8 years before another Delta Green book appeared in 2007. Was this the plan, or what broke down? It's what broke down. Yeah, it was not a plan. I'll tell you that.
Who would plan that?
No. It was planned. We meant that. We totally meant that.
Yeah.
We're gonna hold off for 7 years to edge them. They'll be so keen for this shit.
Yeah, they'll be ready to pop. Yeah. Money.
They'll be gagging for it. Yeah. Was this where you got robbed by your printer, where you're like, can we have our money back? And they said no. And
that happened.
Like, can you send us the books we paid you for? And they said no.
That happened with Delta Green D20.
Oh, okay.
Right.
When we did the Delta Green D20 book, we sent it off to a printer. We partnered with some guys who had family business connections in China. We sent the documents over, and they're like, yeah, we can't use this. We can't print from the layout documents. And I'm like, I beg your pardon? I was like, yeah, we can't. I said, well, you need to convert them into a different kind of layout. And we're like, well, okay, well then give us the money back while we do that. And their answer was no. So suddenly I've got, $15,000 in debt on a credit card at 24% or whatever the hell it was. That didn't help. And they're in China, so it's not like I can get in the money, the old 81 Monte Carlo, and drive there with a baseball bat and get my money back Tony Soprano style. They're in another country, and they're just like, so sorry, we have your money now.
This is early 2000s China as well. This is before China opens up.
Yeah, and so the result was that we had to threaten legal action. We got them the documents, and they had another excuse, and then I had to pay someone to do the layout again because Tynes wasn't doing it then. And it just became that put a lot of drag on us. I think we lost 2 years doing that minimum, and we lost a lot of money. And then when the books showed up, the D20 books won. I think 10% of the run was unsellable. 10% of the run showed up unsellable because the boxes that they were put in were so crappy that the book showed up smashed. The binding was for shit. I ended up taking 300 books to a local book binder, and I was just like, look, just put them together. I don't care how it looks. Just put them together. I'll sell them at conventions for half price. I can't give them to a distributor. And, I ended up selling those. I mean, they sold, people wanted them. But it was, I can only do it, sort of one-on-one, buy the distressed copies. But yeah, at least 10% of the run was unsellable. It was a bad.
I feel your pain. We had nightmares with the moment we started printing, not in the UK or US. I mean, Nobilis.
This is the same period of Wizard's Attic, right?
Yeah. Oh God, Wizard's Attic. I had entirely.
And Wizard's Attic took our money too. Wizard's Attic. Yeah. My favorite thing about Wizard's Attic, Eric, if you're listening, was it Eric Rowe? Was that the guy's name?
Was it Eric Rowe? Or was it Woody Eblon? Woody was involved, wasn't he? But he wasn't.
I'm not
sure. I was on the periphery of all that shit. I just watched other people go insane. I didn't behold the
Wizard's Attic was going out of business, and
it was just to give people some context, because this is 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago. It was a consolidator because there were an awful lot of small role-playing companies dealing with large distributors, and that was taking up a lot of your time if there were 2 or 3, 4 person operation. So Wizard's Attic basically sat between the publishers and the distributors and some retailers as well, and did some mail order. And in theory, this was a brilliant business model. In practice, not so much.
One of the things I noticed later was their contract had a thing in it that said that they cannot be held responsible for any spoilage in the stock up to 3%. When we got our books back for them, one of the things we noticed was that everything was down 3%, which means they sold 3% of our stock for themselves and pocketed the money, in my humble opinion. But everything was down exactly 3% from where it was supposed to be. Now, the best thing though was they're going out of business. And they owed us money.
They owed everyone.
They were like 3 months behind in paying us our cut from the sales. So I said, I'll tell you what, I will zero out our debt if you ship the stuff back to us. Just ship it back to us so it's in our hands so we can have our stock to sell. And, we just had a roommate move out. We had a whole room we could turn into storage. Just ship it back to us and I'll zero out the debt. Cool. Truck pulls up. I've got the garage all opened up, got a pallet jack ready to go. And the guy goes, okay, see you, pay on delivery. Here's the receipt. Pay me or we don't unload the truck. So I'm like, there's been a mistake. And the truck driver's like, this is the bill of lading I've got. It says you pay for the shipping. So I get on the phone to the Wizard's Attic. I'm like, what is this? This is not how you erase your debt with me. This is how you, this is how we get to having legal actions. Oh, no, I got it under control. So I wrote a check to cover the shipping and I gave it to the driver. I said, well, I got to start unloading, so because I need this stuff regardless. So we unload the truck. Before we're done unloading, the driver gets a call from the trucking company that says, hey, this guy at Wizard's Attic just sent us a check. So you can give that guy his check back. I'm like, cool, I'll do that. So that, he gives me the check back and the truck's unloaded and off they go. Then the trucking company comes back to me a couple months later, says that Wizard's Attic put a stop payment on the check. So I have to pay it. I'm like, yeah, what are you talking about? Well, the bill of lading says pay on delivery. Yeah, but that didn't happen. You unloaded the truck. What's your leverage now? But the bill of lading says, look, I'm not getting 3 months of payments from this guy.
I could give you his address. Send someone over there with a tire iron, and it'll be straightened out. I promise.
Now, so that never got paid. I'd love to give you his address, but my understanding is that the principals behind Wizard's Attic may have married a Kiwi and moved to New Zealand.
Sure.
Classic.
That seems not impossible. Yeah. It was a complete mess. Caused complete.
So with disasters like that happening at the turn of the century, there were some delays.
Yeah,
there were some delays. So there were messes like that all up and down. It all came to money. It all came to, we weren't getting paid by our, distributors. We had plenty of companies fold up on us and disappear with stuff. I'm trying to remember. Wasn't Strata Libri?
Over in Italy.
There was at least one British company that folded up on us and took all their invoices with them.
Hobby Games, Chart Hobby Distribution.
Can't remember.
I'm trying to think of the ones.
Down in the basement there are filing cabinets filled with the invoices that we never got paid on. And it usually happened where someone would place an order right before they went out of business. And, there'd be a big order and then poof.
Wasn't Lion Rampant in Canada did that as well? Put in massive orders to everyone. And they were going like, we've had this massive influx of VC. We're going to be one of the big 4 distributors now. Big orders all across the industry, and everyone's going, woohoo! And literally 2 weeks later, they declared bankruptcy. And they had sold everything for pennies on the dollar, cashed out, left the industry, never seen again.
Yeah. And that was pretty typical. That
the beginning. That started out as
this was the Canadian distributor, not the guys who did Osmakica. No connection.
There's 2. How many of these companies are named Lion Rampant?
2.
2 apparently.
Well, none now, but
one more question from Mundy on our Discord. I know this has come up around the edges of other material published since a little, but were there any other intelligence agencies that were in the running to be added to the DG canon? In general, perhaps how much other organizations / groups / ideas could have been made into the DG universe for Countdown that didn't survive the cutting room floor?
The answer really is no. There were none. I've always had a soft spot for French agency. Maybe because I enjoyed La Femme Nikita so much. And also because when you read up on the comings and goings of the French Secret Services, particularly during the 50s and 60s, it's fucking psycho. I mean, we think the CIA is out of control. Oh no, what did MI6 get up to this week? The French are off the hook. They had frickin' death squads, the Man Rouge, the Red Hand death squads that are running around Europe, not just murdering Algerian dissidents and murdering people who are stumping for
Battle for Algeria,
but they're killing off reporters. They're blowing up and sinking German arms traffickers' ships that are shipping guns to the Algerian rebels because these old German arms dealers are like, let's get them back for what happened in 44, and they're looking for their revenge, a little post-war revenge, and the French are just murdering these guys. There's a particular German arms dealer who gets blown up a couple of times, and then these guys, and then when the French pull out, the groups that they set up to fight to keep Algeria turn on the French state and try and murder de Gaulle, and then there's the 61 coup where these retired generals tried to take over Algeria, and it is France, and the Organisation Armée Secrète, the secret army organization, which shows up it's the basis for the original Day of the Jackal. It's kind of the French intelligence agencies are just batshit, because a fair number of them are left over from Vichy, and a fair number are left over from Free French, so they fucking hate each other, and they've all got overlapping areas of responsibility, so they're always ratting each other out.
Yeah,
crossing in the hall, Jean-Pierre.
Yeah. There was a time when Jean was looking for Pierre and under mattresses with his German buddies, and now you're supposed to work together. It's not pretty. So I've always had a weakness for that myself.
Man, that's going to be America in 15 years.
15 years? Wow, you are blithely optimistic, sir. I tell you what. I
gotta be to get through the day.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's funny disposition from the man who, I don't know if you invented the term crap sack future, but you certainly introduced me to it.
I cannot claim crap sack future as mine. But
that was and I wrote a little thing directive from ACEL about building your own agency and what you might want to do to create your own agency if you're going to. But no, not really. There are times that I have laughed derisively at things that were submitted to the oath. And there are some authors that I scoffed at, and I got to tell you, and some things I scoffed at, I had to turn around later and go, you know what? Don't be an arrogant prick. You were wrong. There was a guy who used to submit lots and lots of stuff to us, and he submitted an article about introducing pulp villains into the mythos. The sort of pulp style villains that the Shadow or Doc Savage would go up against. And one of the examples he used was Dr. Satan, who is an actual pulp villain who had his own magazine. They were trying to do a kind of Fu Manchu where the villain would be more interesting than the protagonists. But Dr. Satan is just a guy in a Red Devil ham suit whose all of his plots apparently involve sending you a rich person a note saying, pay me money or I will kill you in some sort of incredibly grotesque way that only an out-of-work, poorly paid writer living in a tenement in Brooklyn could come up with. And that's what the stories will over and over again. And I remember reading that.
I want to be him.
Yeah, well, now.
Yeah, it's a good gig if you can get it. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. In the 1920s, when this was written, you were supposed to stop Dr. Satan, not help Dr. Satan. If he wrote it now in the age of Luigi and the Epstein files, it was like, oh, yeah, the thing with the acid and the blender, we should do that one to him. We should have the acid blender, That's where we would be today, Oh, you shot the Romanovs and threw them down a mine shaft and poured acid in after them after they're dead. What's the point of the acid after they're dead? Mikhail, they're 1%ers. Put them in the blender.
80% of our budget's in the acid.
Exactly.
Creation and transportation, and OSHA's on our ass about this. Come on,
So, anyways, I'm trying to remember the guy's name, but I remember scoffing at the article, and then I started getting into pulp myself and realized, no, this is real. This was really a pulp villain, and the deviled ham suit was part of the mystique or the charm of it or whatever. And so sometimes I've scoffed at things, and one of the things I scoffed at, people started submitting a lot of stuff from their neck of the woods.
Oh yeah.
Here's my Delta Green, I'm still going to scoff at this one. Somebody submitted an Irish version where Guinness was used to stave off sanity loss.
You can't understand the Irish national character.
I can see that. No, I get that one.
That one really, just like, I'm sorry, did you read the material? Because I don't know that we're, going for that kind of tripping the night fantastic vibe here at Delta Green. Yeah, there he is. There's Dr. Satan in his deviled ham suit.
Wow.
Yeah, no. Let's bring him back. He can. Yeah, we got a good list of names for him. Yeah.
Dr. Satan, the role-playing game.
Yeah.
How?
What we'll do is we'll call it Dr. Satan Kills. So, instead of Kill Dr. Satan, where it's just, you are Dr. Satan, can you extort or kill enough billionaires to, I don't know, feel better?
Yeah. Let's see. That's Gareth.
Tell me there's no market for a game where you are a weird pervert in a suit and you are going to go after really rich, much weirder, non-consensual perverts.
Isn't that the premise of Underground? Yeah,
that was Ray Winninger's Underground.
Guinness, no, whiskey,
but no
yes. This is from an actual Irishman, so yes, we have our definitive answer.
So, anyways,
Ether Reich spinoff. There we go. There's nothing new under the sun.
Oh yeah, Ether Reich. We can use those mechanics. Yeah.
So, anyways, that's there were no others that made it in. There were no others that were contemplated. I'm trying to remember. Oh God, I'm such a jerk. I'm forgetting the name of the guy from the Dark as the Hillside Thickets.
Torrin Atkinson.
No. The guy who wrote M Epic for us.
Okay, not Torrin. Yeah.
When one of the reasons I'm not remembering his name is that he often uses a fake name online. Anyways, the fellow who wrote M Epic for us, we bought into that one because he just went and he just got the short stories. He built it from the short stories, kind of the way we built Delta Green. He just found short stories that mentioned the RCMP and mentioned Ithaqua, and okay, that's going to be the doorway to get into the mythos. And because Ithaqua is a storm god, the agency is going to have a public face that's about meteorology, but then they're going to get into other stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff was really good.
M Epic in it.
It is in Targets of Opportunity.
Targets of Opportunity.
Oh,
it's in the same book as Black Cod Island, which is
Yep.
something I was very pleased with from Mr. Detweiler.
Speaking of Hillside Darkest Thing, and I thought of Torrin because I've actually messaged him on Facebook. He was selling some original Delta Green art, and I bought some a while ago, and I just remembered that I have it. But this is, I believe, from the New Age.
Welcome to the inside of the satellites.
The original. So he doesn't burn his art, at least.
That's
thank God.
So I need to frame
lovely.
this. Yeah.
Okay. Was it Adam Crossingham or Graham Price or Warren Banks?
Warren Banks for the Dark as the Hillside Thickets. Warren's fantastic, and M Epic was sold to me because it started in the fiction. He went in and he mined the original stories about Ithaqua and the Wendigo, and just got the material out of there. And so that sold me. That absolutely sold me on including it as an agency.
Torrin also included a little sketch thanking me for buying his art. Technical guy.
Very nice.
Before we go, because our hour is almost up.
That flew.
Yeah, it flew.
It really did. It was a hoot.
Don't forget, Greg Stolze Man, Myth, and Legend here has a Kickstarter up for the Against the Silver Slavers. And here's the link. And
high fantasy, high octane, with feeling and no AI.
Your high fantasy has a touch of post-apocalypse to it. You know?
Well, yeah.
You've had an apocalypse in your fantasy world, and now the vultures are circling, and we're not going to stand for that.
Right? So I'm happy with this one. It makes a lot more sense if you... The first 4 you can kind of read on their own in any order, but this one helps to have read the first 4.
And you can get you should put a reading list order on there, which I think might be on there, but like people someone commented earlier that they wanted a reading list order. I don't know if there is one on here. Is this the what's the order you should read these in? Is this, I don't suppose it's this one.
Those are similar stories. Let's see. So
well, that could be an update. You should put an update.
Yeah, I could put it in an update.
Yeah.
Because I'm responsive to requests from the fans. So.
Yeah. Before we go though,
definitely a myth.
Yeah.
I have one thing before we go, but you do your thing first.
Well, I was just going to ask you if there's anything that you're working on that you want to plug before we go, since we plugged Greg's stuff.
At the moment, I am deep in the middle of updating all of the Delta Green agencies from the first 2 books, from Countdown and from the original Delta Green.
That sounds like a job of work.
It is. I'm done with the American stuff. I'm into the. I've done with the American stuff. I redid all the British agencies to modern times for the Pisces book that we're working on. So that's in the bag. But now I got to go back and just make sure that my 1990s information was correct. And boy, a lot of it isn't. I'm finding mistakes all through it. We called the Chinese Ministry of State Security an internal security force when they are actually like the old KGB, both at home and abroad. They are a full shop for oppression, whether at home or abroad. And I had missed that the first time. Now, all those agencies were written by individual authors. I wrote some, maybe the Russian ones for sure. But a lot of other people, oftentimes from the continent, wrote about the French, the British. We had British authors, might have been Crossingham, in fact, who submitted some of the material for that. We had a Turkish author write about a particular Turkish organization and then tell us not to put his name in the book because these guys disappear reporters.
Wow.
And that was back in the 90s. But anyways, going through that has been quite the slog, but I am getting through it. And when that's done, I will move on to some. I've got to do some more editing on Falling Towers. Just, everything that's in my pipeline is Delta Green. I'm trying to get a manuscript done for the scenarios based on the Labyrinth. John Tynes is the Labyrinth. I got assigned The Lonely, and I am working on a scenario that, for the moment, it is entitled A Righteous Shoot. But hopefully that title will stick because it's such an unpleasant phrase. But we'll see where it goes. When I'm done with that, I've got to return to the Nodens cult I've been working on. I turned in all this Nodens material to Shane, all the source book material and an introductory scenario. And Shane,
gosh,
he's gone.
They got him.
They got him. Yeah.
Yeah. Those Turks, man. They're ruthless.
They work quick, don't they?
Yeah.
Damn.
But the Nodens material, I turned it all in, and Shane's like, "This is great. I need 3 more scenarios."
Oh, that Shane.
Why can't we just have a source book with an introductory scenario? And then the individual handlers can develop their own stories. No, we're not doing that. Write 3 more. So I don't know what the hell I'm doing about that. I mean, I've been paid for the work I turned in. I'm not like, it wasn't like he just said, I need you to double the size of this before I pay you. No, I got paid. I'd rather see it, in the marketplace.
But no, I talk to Caleb all the time, so I this is familiar territory that I'm here.
So and if I once I get done, it's either if I get done with that, the next two things in line are 5 more scenarios for the Delta Green Century. I've got a campaign setting that takes place over 100 years with one scenario a decade, so you can experience Delta Green in all of its forms.
Oh, that sounds cool as hell.
That's very, very cool.
You can have guys maybe get from 1 or 2 scenarios, but you can't get through all of them.
Right.
And the information you build up and the clues you build up in scenario 1 get you through scenario 2, that get you through scenario 3. And depending on how well you do, can you get to the end of it? And the scenario, the campaign's basic theme is that technology is going to make it worse.
Yeah.
For all those people who are like, cell phones and satellites and the internet ruin it, and now you can't have horror because nobody's isolated anymore. No, it's going to be worse. We're going to show you how it was worse. Oh, this horror was developed. It started way back in the age of silent movies and telephones, and it was
back when phones were chained to the wall like prisoners.
Yes, where you had to ask the operator to connect you like a savage. The idea is that as time goes by, the threat just gets exponentially worse with our developing technology.
Sure.
And I will also say that the explosion of those billionaires who got minced in the submersible
OceanGate.
Puts a new wrinkle on
a lot of things.
I had some plans for some deep sea submersibles in the story, and we'll see where that goes. But so there's that. It doesn't really have a name yet, except again maybe it's the that may
great
be something century. And then there's the Greenland thing I was working on.
The oil rig, which
you played, Ross. You played in the Greenland thing.
Yeah, it's on RPPR actual play,
and that's still in the works. And it's did not suspect that Greenland would become topical.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
But there we are. I also thought it would be a good idea to take the Nazis out of Delta Green, because I'm sure we'll have dealt with that by the 21st century and having Nazi problems. So clearly, I'm a goddamn crystal ball.
Yeah. Apollo just beating you in the head with the gift of prophecy.
So that's all I got that I'm working on. The only thing I wanted to add was there was a question that came up about the Army of the Third Eye and how it was related to Bizarre Magazine and 40 Times. And I wanted to point out that I ran across an article about those same, I believe they were English, a group of English self-trepanners who were drilling holes.
I know the article, yes.
Under the effects of LSD as an anesthetic, because, of course. I read about them originally in a book called Kooks by Donna Cossey. Great book. And
I'm sorry, I don't know if you're familiar with this. I have to name her. I met Donna Cossey in 1999 at a party thrown by Mike Gunderloy of Fact Sheet 5. There we go.
I would
drink, everyone. Drink.
I would have slathered all over her. I would have not. She
was fantastic.
How cool was she?
She was very cool. She was very cool in that, it wasn't cool. It was kind of geek cool, but it was clear there was just a depth of knowledge and reading there that one wanted to bathe in.
Yep,
she was fantastic.
It's where her book Kooks is where I learned about the self-trepanning people, and she got a lot of her information from 40 and Times and Bizarre Magazine. But she's also got Bill Cooper in there, or at least in the first edition. Bill Cooper appears in there as well before he was gunned down by the police. And more importantly, the House on the Rock is I think. And that's where I learned about the House on the Rock. And back when Gen Con was still in Milwaukee, I put together an expedition of some friends where we were going to drive out to this thing, and we just got dropped into it, cold. I mean,
no, there's no way to prepare for that.
No, there really isn't.
I really need to go there. Yeah,
sir, you're missing out. It is a door to Carcosa.
Yeah,
it is a door to Carcosa.
Yeah, my friend Tom did go there, and that's kind of how he described it. Yeah, but
there have been few things in the last 15 years of my life or so that have literally made my jaw drop in wonder. And one of them was in the House on the Rock.
Yeah.
I
can think of several spots which could qualify. Yeah.
Where you're just like, no way.
There you go.
No way.
You literally are forced. You're forced down a really tight corridor with a bunch of turns in it, and it just dumps you into a 3-story tall building with a full-sized whale fighting a giant octopus.
Oh, it's not a whale. It's like a weird Leviathan thing.
Yes, it looks like a humpback with orca teeth. It's just insane.
Yeah, those are pretty sharp teeth.
And
multiple
and
rows,
tentacles. Yeah. It's a
it's fighting an octopus, so it's got tentacles wrapped around it. Not a giant squid, a giant octopus. They went from, Beast from 20,000 Fathoms or whatever. They went full Harryhausen. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it is a door to Carcosa. In fact, I think John places a door to Carcosa in Countdown that is behind the Mikado animated music room, where you go in and all these animated figures play for the overture from the Mikado.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this red door against one of the back of the giant room full of animated puppets. John took one look at that and said, "Yeah, I know where that goes."
The Impossible Landscape Handler Discord loves House on the Rock. It gets linked every few weeks when someone rediscovers it. Yeah, there's a Discord server just for people running Impossible Landscapes, and they're like, "Oh yeah, here's a weird thing. Take a look at that." Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. So thank you so much, Scott, for showing up, for enlightening us about some of the more behind the scenes chaos of early Arc Dream of Delta Green, and
all those terrible stories of distributors folding. That's why Dennis, was like, when we're making Arc Dream, we're selling everything directly to the customer. I don't want anything to get between me and the money. They take the money. They always hurt the money, and he hasn't been wrong.
Nope.
But we're finally at an age of technology and print on demand that we can sell directly to a customer.
Yeah.
We just didn't have the option before, and
you can still get screwed by printers.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to have a conversation about sometime about how did McNaughton and Gunn screw you? But
oof. Okay.
Yeah, we've got
that's a future
to finish this up. But next when you come back, we'll talk about
we'll do another live stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
They were selling copies off the production line to the game store in Ann Arbor before the books were even released to distribution.
If that happened to us, we were suckered and never noticed. And I'm just going to presume
I found out and thought it was just my books, but no, John Nephew took them to task about it in the late 90s. Anyway, ancient history, but still, printers are wankers.
Printers
universal
are
rule. Printers are absolute assholes.
Yeah.
We need to finish this up. This has been an absolute joy.
All right.
Such a delight. Thank you so much, Adam.
Yeah, and I should be able to get in the Call of Cthulhu scenario from the Unspeakable Wealth in media res, the episode of that out this month. I'm almost done editing it. I've just had some technical difficulties that have coming back, but hopefully in the next week I'll have it done and out, and we'll have the show notes and all that jazz. And yeah, we only have two more episodes to record, and then I have a bunch of editing to do and layout.
Yeah,
a lot of work on my end, but don't worry about that.
And then you're gonna remember why you make the big bucks.
Yeah.
Come up and say something nice to me at a convention about my work, because I assure you it's not the money that's driving this forward. It's only my ego. All right, that's all I've got. You've got to treat it very carefully.
All right. Well, cool. Well, thank you all so much for listening or for watching if you're here live, and we'll talk to you later. And if you're just listening to this through the podcast feed, check out the YouTube link, because we have Greg Stolze's show and tell throughout this episode as he finds books that we're talking about in his bookshelf and shows us. At least 3 or 4 for this episode alone. So very good stuff. Anyways, yeah, I need to start making dinner. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.
Be seeing you.
There we go. Cool. Yeah, it's very late for James. It's like 11 o'clock for him. And we have to record late because his kids make too much noise to record at earlier times for him. So yeah. But cool. Thanks so much for showing up, and it was a lot of fun. And
I enjoyed it very much.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you were talking about working on a Labyrinth spinoff. I'm working on a Labyrinth spinoff. I got Protosodality.
Oh, the Sodality. Okay, yeah, that sucks balls.
Meh.
We'll see what happens. What's your angle? Because here's the thing. I think I finally got. I'm still got questions about how I'm going to run, how to resolve.
Man, we're still live, man.
I guess we
People
are.
Are like, they're still going. Yeah. We're just talking shop. Pretend you don't hear any of
Are
this.
we still live? I guess we're still live. Oh, well, if anyone's getting a sneak peek behind the curtain, some of the things that were out.
I would never trash talk James and Ross.
Okay, now it's time to talk about
my dead weight.
Those bastards. I was just going to say that some of the things that were laid out in Impossible Landscapes.
Oh.
The King in Yellow material. There's the I'm trying to remember what the anti-meme or anti-memetic protocol, static protocol. Yes, we're still